Hey there, it's me, as it always is, you know? Seems like I can't help myself from following my peers and showing up every once in a while and then leaving again, here and there. But I'm back for now. I hope you've been well. I hope you've been good. I'm here to talk about I guess, experience that I went through. I actually tend to go through this. It's kind of funny. I've gone through this before actually, and I meant to record a video on this. It happened at the same time, I think, since the last video. Um, but I never managed to make it into a video without it becoming too much of a dump, okay? Like a trauma dump, I guess. In more precise words, it's going to be kind of me talking about how it feels to just be, I guess, emotionally all over the place. Like you're kind of like fucked up on, like, in the head because you're just kind of like going through something right now. Um, Obviously something more so sad than just being like drugged up or something, Because, in one of my more recent videos that I've uploaded, I talked about the rule of, or a general rule that I like to follow. I didn't really make this up or anything. It's just something I stick by. But it's sort of this rule of like, well, things will always get better. So as long as you hold out, it'll be fine. And I still hold true to that. I mean, I'm feeling better now. That's a big plus. Otherwise, I don't know if I would be recording this. But like I said, I still believe in that rule, and it's something that does sort of help me and kind of provides comfort. It's the thought of like, okay, well, I'll just have to make it through. But when you're emotionally on edge, I guess, when you're just really fucking sad, okay, I feel like you kind of want to hear something else. You want to be kind of consoled, or is that the right word? At least comforted, in a certain way. And in the moment, knowing that rule, it's just kind of not enough. That's the thing, right? I don't know. Maybe I sounded like a fucking a know-all, okay? Like a smartass, sort of like, oh well, guys, don't worry. If you just wait, it's gonna get all better. But it's kind of funny. I sound like I'm beefing with myself. No, but seriously, when you're in those sort of moments, that sort of mentality doesn't really help enough, and you just kind of quietly suffer on the side while you wait for things to get better. Now, I'm not gonna get into the details of what it was because honestly, besides the fact that I shouldn't really be trauma dumping on the internet, here's the thing, okay? I think there is some things you can share, but I don't want to like share something that's like private, okay? That's going on right now. I don't need to do that. And I think a lot of people can understand that. Um, but also it just doesn't have to be shared at the moment. I feel like, it's a win-win, okay? First of all, I get to make a video on this and to explain my feelings and stuff that I've been going through. And then in the future, I can make a video talking about this again and then actually tell the full story. And then also, share an experience about that. It's going to be a win-win, guys. Just trust me. Just wait 5 more years until I actually talk about it. But, while I'm not sharing this with the world, there's probably a general question that might fly through someone's head like, oh, like, have you talked with anyone about it? No. And it's not like I don't have people to talk about it. I am very fortunate to find myself having, just the right amount of friends you need in life. But then the subject matter also becomes for me, oh, okay, so who do I want to like dump this into, It's the sort of like, I don't know if it makes sense even like what you're hearing like right now, like I just don't want to trouble anyone with it because as far as my experiences have gone, whenever I have vented in the past, I feel like I've just been giving people more trouble than it's worth. Because you have to picture it like this, okay? Most of the friends that I have are, probably as most of you have, online based, okay? They're not local. And I don't know if you've been through these experiences before, but usually I've watched people vent out their feelings publicly as well in the past, and it either went two ways. Either the person or the people they vented out to just didn't really reply in a good manner. And that's not to call out people. Let me correct that real quick, because now it seems like I'm making enemies of everyone who can't, respond to these people. There's a very real case and very understandable case of people when they are these people, those recipients of something like that. They don't know how to respond, or kind of reply in a way that's both respectful and understanding. It's sometimes it's serious business, bro, and I'm in the same boat. Like, it's not easy. Okay, then you have people who like vent out their feelings, and the people will reply to them, but it seems like the person that vented out their feelings doesn't really benefit from it, I guess. Like, they don't really get any better. And that also starts like sort of hurting the relationship, because then it's like, okay, well, like, what's the point of me talking with this person if they seem like they're not getting better in the first place? Like, there's a lot of complications that go on in these situations, okay? And in my case, I've just more so experienced a lot of the times that, I don't know, it's probably because like I have too much emotional baggage going on, okay? I have too much shit going on. I can't let someone be the recipient of that, because so far from what I've seen, it's never been helpful, I guess. And it's kind of backwards, because if you would ask me like, oh, well, Benny, I am feeling down like right now, like, what would I do? Because like in my case, I would say like, if you're my friend, like, I love to talk with you about it, like, I'd love to see if I can help you out, even though it's not easy, because in an online sphere, it's not like you can come over to that person and do this and that with them. You can just be a listener, and then offer maybe hey, we could like play a game over it or something, like, but you can't really do a lot for them. It's kind of unfortunate. And even though I have that sort of like mind and my like answer in my head, like, oh, just I would recommend talking to people about it. Like, my friends can talk to me about it. It's kind of funny because I'm not listening to myself. I'm under the impression and the opinion that I'm just not gonna deal with it. There's just no point. I've done it before in the past and it's never been good enough, so I'm just gonna keep it for myself. That sort of thing. And what really sucks when you're feeling this fucking like down in the slums, right, is that even though I have my golden rule that things will always get better, in these moments, you just kind of don't have the desire to hear that. You have the desire to be heard out. Have someone talk with you about it, Have sort of this person who will hear you out on this, and, I don't know. I guess I just didn't want to feel alone. But it is what it is, On the bright side, I feel better now. Okay, so the rule has worked out again. But yeah. I can't say this though. It's a feeling that I have felt before in the past, like since my last video. I think I was in the same slums for the exact same reason as before. But what I've noticed is that I picked myself up a bit faster and better than before, I think last time I was in the slums, I was like that for like almost a whole week. Like, it kind of persisted like that. Now it's kind of just, it happened, and I felt like that for roughly 3 days, at most 4. And instead of, getting better, but feeling really bitter about it, I kind of just had this mentality of like, whatever. Like, instead of bothering with it even more, I'll just drop it, And then suddenly I don't know, my body kind of just decided by itself that the energy should just not be wasted on some shit like that. And honestly, I'm happy about that. It feels good to be feeling good again. But yeah, I'm not gonna get into the specifics of what I was actually feeling through, because I don't want to. I just explicitly talked about how I didn't want to bother my friends with it. I especially don't want strangers or whatever, finding this video and then like, hearing it instead. Because that's not what it's really supposed to be all about. I'm not supposed to be coming on here, on this channel and then start venting out my frustrations like it's back in middle school, you know? Oh, did you know that Mrs. Briggs is such a bitch? I'm pretty sure it's a good subject matter. I just cannot let it come out right now. It'd be too early. It'd be also too much of a vulnerable subject for me, you know? But yeah. I don't know. This was probably more of a ramble than it ever has been. I'm not sure if it really even made sense on a sort of like commentary note. Because I was mostly talking about my feelings rather than like an actual subject, okay? But I can mention a couple of things. Thing number one, I will be back for the, you know, short temporary time that whenever I do come back to this channel, okay? You can expect at least one more video. And point number two is that the video I do want to make, and I have at least one video in mind, okay? The video I do want to make is definitely a bit more, you know, talking about a subject that isn't just, oh, it's my emotions, trust me on this, you know, like, I'm not really getting into any details. I don't know. At the end of the day, this is my ramble channel. Okay, I'm just gonna be rambling as always, okay? Things will remain the same since the first video, okay? Things will never change. Okay, but, I think that's basically it. That's basically all I want to talk about. Chances are very likely that I wanted to mention something else in this video, because, you know, lots of emotions, lots of feelings that I went through, but probably forgot about it. Whoops. But either way, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for always being patient with me. Thanks for listening, though. You know, that's the big thing. You know, I think it's crazy to imagine that people listen to these like things, you know, rambles, whatever. But I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate the positive feedback that I've always received. It always makes me feel a bit better. Even though I tend to then turn into a villain and then just like be like, ah, thank you, now I will leave. Okay, let's cut it to the point. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. It'll be very soon. Okay, trust me on this. For the next time, it'll be soon. And I hope you have a great day, maybe a good evening or a night, and I will see you very soon.